So hello everybody and welcome to my review. Since this is pretty new scooter, I thought I would give you my opinion about good things and bad things. I have owned this scooter for some time now. I have driven already like 120 kilometers on it, give or take. And I would like to share with you what I like about the scooter and what I don't. Also, I'm planning to do the range test, proper range test, although I did do a range test with one engine only, so single engine, and I got pretty interesting results, so let's dive into it. The first thing I really like about this scooter is this massive leg. I mean, it's very sturdy, like I can move it and it's barely moving at all, so very well made stick, looks like a leg kind of, very robust, very well built. So yeah, that's the first thing I like about it. The second thing I like about it is actually this grip spot right here. The reason for it, well, there are two actually. The first one is I can actually, well, basically use this to lock my scooter. This is pretty, thick piece of metal or steel, whatever this is, I don't know. It's solid, it's strong, it's properly made. And the second reason for it is because you can grab it, so whenever you need to like pick it up, it's really comfortable to do so. The third thing I really like about this scooter is that it has fucking amazing suspension. I mean, like, the softness of it really surprised me. This is the first one that I have ever tried with shock absorbers. As you see, hydraulic shock absorbers. And I have to say, it is fucking amazing. Whenever I'm riding with this scooter on uneven surface, it actually has enough, damping or whatever you call this in English, power to actually soften up the ride significantly, especially when riding through minor unevenness. Another thing I like about it is the design of it. It really stands out from all the other scooters that I have, tried before. My favorite one before I actually purchased this one was Inokim Oxo, but now I have to say it kind of grew on me. So I really enjoy the design of it. It just kind of looks cool. To me, it kind of reminds me of Lamborghini, the yellow and the black patterns. Cool. So we're here up front where we have all the instruments. And the first thing I have to say, what I really enjoy is this button right here. It switches between dual and single motors. All of it is well built. To me, it feels like it's made out of metal, so it definitely feels premium. This card reader, or the immobilizer, I didn't quite understood why I need this, but actually I found it to be very useful. Even when I don't really lock my scooter, it usually is a very good thing to have, just to kind of disable it so no one can really ride it. So I found this to be quite a useful thing after all. Alright, so now let's talk about the things I didn't really like. Well, the first thing I didn't really appreciate is this light. I found it to be quite ugly. I mean, look at it. Kind of reminds me of those old trains. They have this central big light. The shape of the bulb is, I don't know, it just kind of triggers me for some reason. I just find it why couldn't they made it into a square shape or something? I don't know, it just looks weird, to me at least. And the second thing is, when you're bouncing around, this is basically mounted to the suspension arms. and whenever it's flexing, the whole light is like all over the place, and I have to say it's not that impressive either, so I don't really use it. Now going back to the, I don't know what this is called, controller maybe, I don't know. Well, anyway, it has a few issues of its own. The first being is brightness of it. Right now it's like so visible. So actually my camera is imitating the eyes pretty well, and as you can see it's like not super bright, and especially when it gets sunny, like this is the max brightness on it. You can't see shit like at all, nothing at all. So that's a bad thing, I think. Like Inokim OXO, or in general Inokim, let's just call it speedos, right? Those have white matte background and black dials. In my opinion, those are much better. I can see much better, although, you know, this has some color, I will give it that, like it looks kind of cool, but what good does it do when you can't really see anything? So I had issues with that. Okay, so I was just riding and the sun came out, as you can see, and I have this opportunity to show you what it looks like when it's sunny. So whichever direction I will go, even now, you see, it's like my shadow is kind of like helping me out, but let's say from my perspective, you can't really see much, especially like if the sun is kind of like glaring off this glass, you can't see shit. Like, this is so annoying. Same goes for the voltage meter, like it's just white all the time. Like you have to like kind of like give it some shade so you can see at least what it says, but otherwise you would not even look. Even now you can't really say how much voltage is left. So yeah, not good that. Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the folding steering column. Well, I mean, it's not like really jiggly, so to speak, and even if it becomes kind of loose, I just have to keep tightening it up again and again and again. So the dude that sold me the scooter told me that I could use this Teflon tape, so I might do that just so it kind of sits in one spot. But overall, I found the steering column to be a little bit high for my liking. The Inokim one was maybe slightly like around here, and I found that to be a bit more comfortable to hold and feel secure rather than with Vsett, unfortunately. But you know, after some time I kind of got used to it and it feels okay. Now going back to this controller or speedo or whatever, I don't know what the designers were thinking about when they actually designed it. It just looks like either the brakes were not tailored to this thing, or this thing was not tailored to the brakes. So what happens is, if, let's say, for my liking, I would like to push this up, when I push this up, this goes up as well. And as it is now, like, it's a good compromise. Like, I would maybe like it to go down a bit, like maybe to this angle like that, but then the brake lever would actually also go down as well. So I didn't really, you know, like that fact about how the scooter was designed in this specific sense. Okay, now the brakes, although they are good, but I don't understand why is it that brake calipers or brake pads rather don't actually grip, you know, the most of the disc. As you can see, it only takes like a fraction of it. So, and that's the front ones. The rear ones are a little bit better, those for some reason take up half of the whole brake disc, as you can see. So I'm not sure what's that up with. Another annoying thing is also the sound coming from the frontal springs. Well, I was told that this is normal. Well, I don't know. I mean, the rear one does not budge at all. Let's just try to kind of like see. It didn't really. It's not making much of a sound. However, the front ones, if you listen, seem to be wiggling at around that point. I don't know if you can see it with the camera or not, where it basically mounts to the part right there. I think that's where it wiggles. Perhaps over here. No, I don't think it's here. Definitely down there. So I don't know how to fix that issue, but sometimes it's quite annoying when you're riding and you're just kind of like hearing that clunk, 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 you know. The other thing that is bothering me is weird squeakiness in the steering column. Like it does this like, you know, like I don't know how to actually mimic this sound, but it's kind of like when you tug on it a bit more, it kind of makes this weird sound. I tried to fasten the bolt and hoped that it would go away, but it did not. So I'm not sure why is it squeaking, because, you know, it's pretty sturdy. I mean, like, I don't think it has any movement in it whatsoever. So I'm not quite sure where is this sound, like squeaky sound, coming from. I know for a fact this comes from the steering column, but again, is it coming from here? Is it coming from here or down there? I'm not quite sure. So yeah, I will need to check that out. Okay, one more thing that I thought was ridiculous, and for such an expensive scooter, it's kind of lame, and that is the horn. It sounds like, you know, those trucks when they're backing up. You know, like, it's just stupid. Like, well, you know, or, you know, like you could imitate the heart rate monitor, you know, like before someone dies. You're just like, fucking ridiculous, man. I don't know what was Vsett thinking. I mean, like, you need like a proper horn, or at least a sound that imitates, you know, like a bicycle horn sound. I don't know. All right. So I just thought of another thing that I really like about this scooter, which is like setting it up. So let's say if you want a crazy motherfucker, you know, like experience, you just go like and set it up for whichever aggressiveness you like, which Inakim does not provide. Yeah, so basically it has a lot of presets. Like, do you want the scooter to basically start from a spot, or you want it to go after you kick off, let's say? Because, for example, if you have a scooter that actually can accelerate instantly, what you don't think about is, let's just say your kid comes up to the scooter when it is turned on, and he presses the accelerator. I mean, this thing is gonna fucking go like a rocket. So it goes like and into a fucking wall, right? Or maybe you were just like caught off guard and you pressed the button, and now it just kind of starts driving, and now because of the reflex you kind of grab it, and, you know, like the throttle is like pushed in, so now it's like, you know, like rolling. Anyway, my point is, there is a lot of things you can set up on this scooter, so I really enjoy that part. Like, you can set it up to your specific needs, what you want it to do, how you want it to be, you know, instead of like getting it out of the box and like, this is what you get, and that's the way it is. Like you can't change anything. So yeah, I really enjoyed the fact that it's very flexible in terms of what you want it to be.